go to the NFL after their freshman year or sophomore year if they're good enough, and if they don't get drafted, they can come back to college. But that, just like other sports, you can go pro early. Just your opinion of his kind of idea or thought to address these issues that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, it's really something that I've never really actually thought hard about, but I think the basketball and how they have it set up where you can declare for the draft, go through the whole process as long as you don't sign an agent, and you can make a decision if you come back to school. That regards, that seems something that I guess is pretty reasonable, and guys would probably be interested in exploring that avenue, but what's going on now with California, and I think there's some more states getting in it as well. Interesting, obviously not going to affect me at all going forward, but it's interesting to see how these things are going to plan out in kind of this new era of college football that's being ushered in.
You said it doesn't affect you, but do you think you guys should be paid for autograph signings or doing commercials or whatever?
I think it's different for everybody. Coming from my background, I feel like I don't really need that extra benefit, but obviously there are people on this team that I think that they would very much benefit from that. So, those are my brothers, so, I'll do anything to support them and, just, whatever way to come out favorable for both sides.
Coach also said today that the offense is coming. When will you feel like it has arrived?
Yeah, we've been doing well in practice. We feel like Iowa coming to this game, I think they're the number 5 team in the country, number 5 total defense in the country. They've ran the same defense for about 20 years. They play a lot of base. They're really good at what they do. They know the type of players that they have, and they're able to focus all week on stuff that we do and not have to be too worried about installing stuff. So from that standpoint, they're very good, very disciplined defensive front, and Iowa was able to just clog the holes that we thought we had. They're really good at getting to the quarterback. I think we did a pretty good job of keeping Shea upright. Linebackers and the D-line played really well, and I think the back end of the defense played good as well, and we weren't really able to take our shots. I don't really know what was involved in that, but that was a good defense, credit to them, and we were just happy to come out with the win, obviously. It's really big. People were talking about this is one of the most pivotal games for Michigan this year. If we win this game, people are going to say, oh, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It's Iowa. We lose this game. It's the worst thing ever, and we're sitting at 3-2. So, at the end of the day, just happy to come out to win.
After Wisconsin, there was all the talk about the offense looking for an identity. Do you feel like you found that at all, or do you have an idea of what you want that identity to be?
I think we were kind of able to establish who we were going to Rutgers. I know there's a lot of talk on Rutgers from the other side saying that we didn't have an identity, and at that time it was true, and I think we were able to kind of establish that. And we were really physical with Rutgers up front, being able to do pretty much whatever we wanted to, and we kind of just wanted to carry that same mindset coming into this game. And it was 2 good football teams, 2 Big Ten football teams going at it. You're going to get those field position battles that it turned out to be with the punting back and forth, and that's kind of what Big Ten football is. It may not be flashy, but that's sometimes how it is, and
How big has it been for that defense to get Mike Walker back in there and the impact that he's made?
Yeah, Mike's a great player. He's really active with his hands, really quick twitch. Really hard to block in practice sometimes, that's for sure. Seeing him back and healthy, I know he's been struggling a lot, especially throughout the summer as well, and going into this fall. It's hard to see that guy sit on the sidelines in the training room, battling through all these injuries he's got, but I'm happy for him that he's back out there and can tell he's really enjoying it. Happy for him.
You played here with Brandon Peters for a few years, so what's it going to be like seeing him, on the other team this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be weird. Me and him were roommates last year. I was with him pretty much every step of the way with him, trying to graduate, trying to find a new home. Happy for him. I know he got banged up in his last game. I was hoping I'd maybe see him out there playing, but I always wish him the best. he's one of my good friends for sure, and you know, just looking forward to going there. And we still have business to take care of. Nothing against Brandon, you know, but we're looking to go in there and coming out with the W.
So you talked with him a lot about him transferring last year?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was still fully invested in the team. He was a couple credits away from graduating. He had to work really hard, really hard in the spring term. I think he had to take like 18 credits in the spring term, or 16 credits, which even that's an accelerated course in the spring, so that's really hard. So he was always studying, and I was always there just watching him. And yeah, and I felt bad for him, but you know, he eventually did what's best for him, and happy for him. And you know, he's a great guy, great friend, and wishing nothing but the best.
Do you know what time of the year he decided that he was going to transfer?
I think he kind of, he didn't really talk about it to me. I think kind of kept it quiet till around maybe December last year, kind of when we were going to bowl prep for Florida, and yeah, it was right around there. And yeah, he's obviously, you can see he's a really quiet guy, doesn't really talk much, but I was able to get something out of him every now and then.
So what was your reaction when he ended up going to another Big Ten school?
Yeah, the whole time I was talking to him, he was going back and forth between a couple MAC schools. He told me a funny story about Illinois, or not Illinois, some other schools that wanted him and brought in a quarterback on a trip, and they said that they didn't want Brandon anymore, and then the quarterback didn't want to come anymore, so they were begging for Brandon back. There's kind of a bidding war going back and forth, but yeah, it's interesting. He'd be gone every weekend, going to a different school, checking it out, and you know, like I said, just happy for him and looking forward to seeing him out there.
When you're watching the film, are you seeing the opportunity for explosive plays, and what needs to happen to make that happen both in the running game and the passing game?
Yeah, I think in the run game, definitely sometimes explosive plays just come down to hat placement, whether it's by guard keeping his block, you know, me, myself, or you know, Jalen keeping their head inside the defender, where the running backs can find a fast vertical seam, or you know, tight end sometimes. But you know, those things, we pride ourselves on explosive plays, and we know that we have a quota that we have to get and meet, and we didn't meet that this week. I think we only had 2 explosive run plays and 2 explosive pass plays, and that's not going to cut it if you're going to try to, you know, win against these teams. But somehow we managed to do it against the top 5 defense in the country. We got to be better than that, obviously. The pass explosive plays, I felt we held up a lot better than we did against Wisconsin in that regards. And Iowa's D-end 94 is kind of giving me fits early on in the game. I was able to settle in there, felt good. Offensive line as a whole, pass protected very well, so the running backs. Saw Christian Turner was picking up some pretty good blitzes, so was Zach. So, you know, credit to all of them up front. And then as long as the throwing and the catching, I can't really do much about that. But, yeah, so we're really excited how the offensive line pass protectors are coming along. From where it was in the first couple of games.
We've talked about the zone blocking that Coach Warner brought in last year, and what an advantage it was for you, because that's the staple of the spread.
Yeah.
But one thing I haven't talked to you about is not having a fullback back there for the most part. How does that play into maybe the way you guys can double team up front, and how does it impact what the offensive line does?
Yeah, you know, it doesn't really impact me that much. Kind of with the RPO stuff, it's a lot more single blocking by myself. I have really no help. And do have some plays that are coming up and on deck. Maybe using a fullback. Sometimes we use a fullback either as tight end, like we use extra tight end or extra running back, or
Kind of an H.
yeah, exactly, like an H back. And you know, we don't have. You know, I saw Iowa out there running kind of fullback ISO like we used to run. That's one of my favorite plays, but. You know, we don't really have that anymore. We have a couple insert players with the tight end and H-back, but yeah, fullback, it's kind of bread and butter of Big Ten football. It's not gone from our offense, but we're looking to use it for sure.
After the game on Saturday, Shea spoke of the need for you guys to kind of punch it in the end zone and get to the red zone.
Yeah.
What's been the difference for you guys this year, having to settle for field goal and punching it in?
Yeah, I know we got right there on the fringe of the red zone. We might have been in there. I think it was early in the 4th. I'm not quite sure. And took 3 shots at it, 3 completions, and then I think trucked the kicker out there, missed the field goal. So that's obviously not what you want. you think you throw the ball 3 times, maybe you get a completion, like one completion for a couple yards, but that wasn't the case. So, you know, it's difficult when you go down there and Iowa's been stuffing you on the run, and you decide you want to throw down there on the fringe of the red zone and not able to complete one pass. So, you know, it's a chess match back and forth every play. You know, that's what the coaches wanted to do. That's what we believed in. So we went ahead and tried to make what's best of it, and really come out in our favor that drive.
Going back to Brandon, did he express disappointment as to how the 2017 season played out, especially having that concussion and kind of seemed to derail whatever momentum he may have had? Did he ever talk about that and just, how that ended up?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Brandon's always been a really quiet guy,
Yeah.
always stuck to himself. He never really voiced any displeasure to me. After that 2017 season, he was, full on board with trying to win this spot, even with Shea transferring and not knowing his eligibility. And he battled really hard throughout spring ball and, throughout fall camp, and I think they declared Shea the starter, halfway through camp. And, he was still one play away, so he was always forging on. And, things, I guess, didn't go his way. I don't really know. It didn't really say much about it to me. And, in the end, he did what's best for him, and he's in a pretty good place right now, Illinois. I keep up with him, and, his statistics are looking pretty good. I'm throwing a lot of touchdown passes, so I'm happy for him.
Do the two of you still keep in touch?
Yeah, we play a lot of Mario Kart against each other on our Nintendo Switches. We text back and forth, Snapchat all the time. So yeah.
Who's better at Mario Kart?
He's better than me, but I do get him every now and then. He doesn't like to admit it. I say he probably wins about 65% of the time now.
When you're going against these stiff defenses, I mean, how do you think you guys have done with adjustments, I guess, over the course of the game?
Like we said, like Iowa, same defense that they've ran all week. We thought we knew how we wanted to block them. They're doing a good job with folding the front side linebacker over the backside linebacker and throwing off for combination blocks, and they ended up getting a free hitter on some of the plays. And they did a good job. Sometimes we get our running backs one-on-one at their free safety, and sometimes we didn't win those one-on-ones, and those are the kind of plays that you need. And that's kind of your dream matchup scenario, having a running back one-on-one to safety, and hopefully they can make something happen. But they did a good job tackling, able to limit us, so just credit to them.
The big playability for this team, you saw what it did on your touchdown drive with Nico. It starts with you guys up front, and Jim just said, he feels like you guys are close to cracking those. How close do you feel you guys are to making more explosive plays?
Yeah, that's one of our favorite protections. It's a 7-man protection we have. We only have a few routes running out there, so I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but you throw the ball up to Nico, he's coming down with it. Seems like at least 85% of the time. If not, it's maybe a little overthrow. So, Nico is unbelievable at those plays. He goes up there and catches every single time, and guys are always trying to hold on to him. And he's playing through traffic and everything. So, that's one of my favorite protections we run. Hopefully we get back to it a little bit more. I'm thinking we will, and looking forward to it.
Are you surprised there haven't been more deep tries, deep throws to Nico, to Tariq, to Donovan?
I don't know. I think kind of we like those deep plays, kind of first play out of the drive, kind of when we got a short field. I don't think we like to just take them kind of randomly. I think they're really strategic, and you kind of feel it with how the game's going in the flow. We like big shots and big runs and big plays after turnovers, and that's something that we like to do, for sure.
Teammates have mentioned, I feel like the offense is clicking a lot in practice, and that's what keeps you confident, even if it's not working against Iowa. What are, in your experience, are the keys to transitioning success in practice into the game, and what are some of the key elements that make that difficult?
I think some of the key elements that is, we're obviously going against a scout team. They give us the right alignment and assignment, but sometimes like Iowa players can play more instinctually than our scout team players can play, and we do have periods against our 1 defense and 2 defense, but that's obviously a different look than Iowa's going to give us during the game. But so those periods are really for kind of just like pace of play and fast tempo and hands and feet and technique. So you are kind of limited, but so is every other team in the country in that regard to, instinctual play and how players are going to play this and how they're going to fit in the different areas. So, just trying to treat everything like it's game speed. It goes for the offense and the scout defense. And, we just got to keep plugging, keep going, keep pushing, and hopefully it will start translating to a better product on the field and more productive.
You guys ran 59 plays. I mean, is this play volume important to this offense?
Yeah.
And do you guys really look at that as a key statistic?
Yeah, that's what we kind of when Coach Gaddis first got here talking to us about is if you want to score more points, you got to run more plays. And the best teams in the country are out here scoring at least 42 points a game, and I think we averaged just under maybe like 34 last year. So that's something that we try to do heading into the season, and we did that against Rutgers. Obviously didn't do that against Wisconsin or Army or our last game. So that's something that we need to get better at for sure.
All right, thanks, guys.